Welcome to yoga. And today I thought we might just spend a little bit of time in a heart-opening posture using the block vertically, the cushion, meditation cushion or block if you're using one, use it vertically so it's vertically between your shoulder blades. Your block or whatever the firm cushion is supporting your head. And then just let your shoulders drape, drop, your chest open, and let go with your palms facing up in the open and receiving position. And breathe. Adjusting whatever you require in order to fully let go and surrender. We love because it's the only true adventure. And because of the season that's upon us, it just makes me realize that the real gifts of the season are inside. They're inside our hearts. They're the things that we would hopefully say, because it reminds me of a psychotherapist who said, it's not what we say that undermines a relationship. It's what we don't say. It's what we withhold. And it's interesting that courage and vulnerability almost mean the same thing. To be vulnerable and to open our hearts and say what we value and appreciate in another person is the best gift that I personally know of, and I'm pretty sure if you can think of people whose lives that you have impacted in a positive way, in a helpful way, in a beneficial manner, and they express that to you, I don't believe that we have any greater gift than service. So breathe into your heart space. Fill it. And then release anything that feels judgmental, stressful, any of the shoulds, any of the things that make us feel like we're less than brilliant. I love this quote from Albert Einstein. There are only two ways to live your life. One is as though nothing is a miracle, and the other is though everything is a miracle. And when we think about being joyful or being happy, they're actually different. Happiness is often dependent upon external circumstances, whether or not you like how you look, or you like the event you're at, or getting there, or who knows what. It can be anything at all. And that means that our happiness seems to be reliant on something outside of our control, except for how we look. We have a certain amount of control, but we don't have 100%. We do have to deal with the reality of who we are and how we look. But joy is something that is much deeper and I think internal. It's an upwelling of feelings that come from inside, and it can be for the smallest things that other people may not even notice. You probably aren't going to share it with them. They're not maybe going to get it. I happen to feel some fondness for squirrels, except when they're trying to eat all the bird seed. But I love watching them move around, run across wires, across roads, streets. So just knowing that our basic nature is joy. You only have to see a little kid who's having its most basic needs met. They just want to have fun. That's exactly who we all are. Yoga philosophy suggests that the foundation of joy is a feeling of contentment, being satisfied with what you have, not always looking out for what someone else has or does or wears or goes. It's really about expressing gratitude. And for those of us who might have trouble finding those places of gratitude and spending more time in a grumpy state, I have said this before. If you begin a practice of gratitude where you write down or say 3 things a day for at least a month for what you would be grateful for, it will change your attitude and probably your outlook and increase that inner kid-like joy and start to live that everything is truly a miracle, including your life. Your physical body working 24/7, 7 days a week, 365 days of the year, except for the leap year, it gets a day off. Alrighty, so take a couple more deep breaths right into your heart center. And exhaling anything that sounded like something you don't think you can adhere to at this time. Be okay with that. It's all right. It's okay. It takes time to kind of turn the wheels in our minds, which often affect what goes on in our hearts. Just notice it without judgment. Mindfulness is noticing without judgment, and where we're really being hard on ourselves, practice some compassion. There are reasons that we are hard on ourselves. Just notice it and love yourself anyway. If we can't love ourselves unconditionally, we're going to struggle loving others without conditions. And those conditions limit our joy, our pure, unbridled joy for waking up every day to a new day, new possibilities, new friends, old friends. All right, so if you have something underneath your upper body, just gently taking your time, remove them and place them off to the side. And we're just going to gently warm up the areas of the body so that we can have a safe practice of yoga, uniting body and mind. Starting out with your feet the width of your mat, with your knees bent. Tuck your shoulder blades underneath your heart center. Arms are beside your body. Actually, take them out to shoulder height, out to the sides. Inhale in place. Press the small of your back into the floor. Exhale, drop both knees over to the left. Inhale, knees to center. Exhale, other side. Inhaling to center, exhaling, other side. Inhale, center, exhale, releasing. So gentle warm up for the hips. And now bring the knees into the center. Keep your arms out to the side. Palms can be facing up or down, whatever feels best for you. Pressing the small of your back into the floor. Knees, ankles, and thighs are glued together. We're going to start to warm up now the lower back as well as your lower core abdominal muscles. So do this slowly. Inhaling together. Exhale, drop both knees over to the left with control. Not letting gravity take over or momentum. Control, using your muscles and your breath. Inhaling, come back to center. Feel your core working. If you didn't feel it work, maybe you came back too quickly. Inhaling in the center, exhaling, both knees glued together, over to the right, perhaps your head to the left. Feel your core stretching, your obliques. These are the muscles that wrap around your waist. So you're going to feel those on the left side right now. Inhaling, come back to center. I think we call these love handles. Maybe we don't love them, but somebody else might. Inhaling in the center, exhale, both knees over to the left. Perhaps your head to the right. Feel your muscles engaging. Your knees probably aren't touching the ground. You want to keep your opposite shoulder as close to your mat as you can. Inhale, slowly back to the center. Exhaling, both knees once again over to the right. Perhaps your head to the left. Inhaling, come back to the center. Draw both knees in towards your chest. Extend your left leg straight down in front. Keep your right leg in towards your chest. And now place your left hand on the outside of your right knee and draw it across your body with your right arm out to the right side. And again, it's like you're tuning a fine instrument. Don't tune it too tight. Don't press or go too far. But the area that is feeling the most tension and tightness, that's getting your attention and deserves your attention, breathe into it. You can mentally ask it to relax. And remember, relax comes from a Latin word with its roots in letting go. So you can say relax, you can say let go silently, and be a witness as to the body's response. It's your body. It's a relationship. Like all relationships, we need to listen deeply and learn. Inhaling, slowly come back to the center. Draw your right knee into your chest again. Draw your left knee up into your chest. Extend your right leg down in front. Right hand on the outside of your left knee. Draw it across your body. Extend your left arm out to the left side. And notice where you feel the most tension and tightness. Allowing your breath to help your body create space and release what is no longer serving you. Part of my meditation prayer is to be lifted up to absolute truth, and then for the other truths to be revealed that are for my highest good. In yoga, we say, as we cannot see our backs, nor can we see our defects, things that are flying under the radar that might be spoiling what could otherwise be a pleasant, peaceful, and or joyous day, every day, not just this season, all the time. Inhaling, come back to the center, draw your left knee in and draw your right knee in. And can we take happy baby pose? So reach your arms inside of your legs. I know some people do this from outside, but if you prefer your arms on the outside, that's fine. And then if you're able to grab your insteps, fine. If not, take hold of your ankles and then draw your feet straight up. So the soles of your feet are facing the ceiling. Your ankles are as much as possible directly over your knees. And think about, it's not going to happen, pressing your knees towards your armpits. Keeping the small of your back, including your sacrum, on the mat. And breathe. A perfectly safe hamstring stretch, still mobilizing, lubricating your massive hip joints. And then releasing, keep your knees bent. Place the soles of your feet on the mat with your arms beside your body and your palms facing down. Once again, please lift your shoulder blades up, tucking them under your heart. Align your heels with your sits bones, arms beside your body with your palms facing down. Soles of your feet grounded into your mat. Press the small of your back into the floor. Feel your core abdominal muscles engaging here, but keep breathing. This tilts your pelvis up. We're going to warm up the spine in bridge pose. So inhale, lift your lower back and your middle back. Moving up into your upper back, coming into bridge pose, Setu Bandhasana. Activating fronts and backs of thighs, and breathe. So many benefits to this posture. It's an inversion. It helps to drain some of the blood towards the heart center, strengthening muscles in the back, the thighs, and perhaps for this time of year, any type of compression in the throat area does a couple of things. One more breath in, exhale, slowly lower down. So I'll talk about the throat in another moment. Releasing your entire body all the way onto your mat. Your arms are still beside your body with your palms facing down. Let's press the small of the back into the floor once again. Pressing the soles of your feet into the floor. Arms are snuggled in right beside your body. On an inhale, peel your spine off the mat. So compression in the throat area physically helps to dislodge and unblock areas that could be clogged or blocked with impurities, toxins, and waste. And of course, the other thing that we think about in the throat area is our ability to verbalize, vocalize expressions of heartfelt thoughts and feelings. Of course, we use it for other things, especially when we're driving in terrible traffic, and that's okay too. Get things off your chest, release. Just don't spread them out to the rest of the world. And then slowly lower your spine all the way back down. Releasing the lower back, feeling it because it was working. So just letting go for a moment. And then if your heels felt like they could be a little bit closer, that might bring a little more comfort or stability and strength to our bridge pose. This will be the last time. Pressing the small of your back into the floor, peeling your spine off the mat. If you are able, bring straight arms under the body, interlock your fingers with your knuckles pointing towards your heels, and then do a little rocking from side to side, bringing your shoulders underneath your body and your shoulder blades drawing together. So this really opens up the shoulder, chest area, the area of the body that's often compressed, rounded, and hunched. Looking at our devices, doing things in the kitchen, even reading a book, pressing up a little bit higher, then release your arms and slowly come all the way down. Draw one knee and draw the other knee up and just do a little rocking on your lower back area. Holding on to your knees. And then take your knees apart a little bit wider and let's make some big circles. Changing the direction. And then we're going to roll up to a seated position. You can either place your hands underneath the backs of your thighs or you can roll over onto your side and use your top arm to push yourself up. All right, I'm taking my Santa socks off now. Okay, so let's take the feet wide apart. Taking a sip of water whenever you need. You can feel some heat back there, right? Everybody? Are we warming up a little bit? The things are on? Okay. All right, so feet are nice and wide. Lift yourself up from behind and push yourself forward. So you can feel your sits bones connecting with the mat and your feet are flexed. So legs as wide apart as you can. Inhale, stretch the arms up, reaching up. Exhale, forward fold, reaching maybe halfway only, which is fine. And then drop your hands down to the floor, tenting your fingers. And then can you walk your fingers just a little bit further forward, maybe? Take a deep breath in. And on an exhale, walk your fingers back towards your body. Now, fold your left foot in so that your heel is perhaps up against the perineum and the foot against your thigh. And then inhale, sweeping up. Exhale, turn towards the straight leg, lifting out of your waist, reaching up. Exhale, forward fold. Now you may not go too far, just fine. Remember, if there's any pain, there's absolutely no gain. One more breath in, keep flexing the foot of the straight leg, and then lower your hands wherever they go. They might grab your toes, they might grab your ankle, maybe your calf, maybe even just your knee. It's okay, wherever they go. One more breath in, reaching through the crown, even if it's just a thought. And then walk your hands back up your thigh. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale towards the bent knee. Lead with your heart. Exhale, forward, fold. And again, placing your hands on the floor. Releasing your torso onto the bent thigh. Now, if you want to get a little more shoulder action and opening, bring the arms behind the back, interlock the fingers, and lift the arms up. It's perfectly fine to leave your arms still on the floor. Release your hands, push the body back up. Carefully bring that bent knee once again out to the side. and take a moment to bang out the back of the leg that you just bent. Let's bend the other leg, bringing the heel. Now, if you have a block and you feel that you want to support your knee or anything you have, your cushion, please do that. And then again, use your hands behind you, sitting up nice and tall. And if this doesn't feel good on your knee, then leave your knee straight out, because I know there might be some knee issues out there. Flex the foot of the straight leg if you can. Inhale, sweeping up. Exhale, bending over that straight leg, reaching and stretching. Doesn't matter how far you go. Keep flexing the foot of the straight leg, please. So you can feel your core working here again. As you reach and you stretch, inhaling in, exhale, lower your hands wherever they go, dropping them onto your leg. Try to rotate your torso as best you can to face the straight leg. Inhaling, reaching through the crown of your head, even if it's just a thought. Exhaling, lowering if there's any room to go further down. And then walk your hands back up your legs. Inhale, come to the center. Exhale, turn the body towards the bent knee. Exhale, forward fold. Again, tenting your fingers on the floor. And releasing your torso, if it's available, onto your thigh. And of course, this is where, we can use our meditation cushions, whatever you have, if you want to place it underneath your torso, on top of your bent knee. And then, if you wish, bring the arms behind the body, interlock the fingers, and lifting the arms up. Exhale, forward fold, come on, all the way down. Now, take the straight leg out to the side of your mat. You're going to come onto your knee. Place your hands, we're going to do a modified Vashisthasana. So tenting your fingers or your flat palm on the floor. You're on your knee. Lift that straight leg up and reach the other arm up. So we're balancing, strengthening, and then reach that top arm overhead. Focus your gaze. Breathe. And releasing. Come on to both knees for a moment before we do the other side. I'm going to turn sideways just so you can see. If you have your knee pad cushion, or double your mat over if you need to. Coming into camel, curl your toes under. Some of us may only place our hands on our backs and arc back. Try to get a straight line in your body as you arc back. Others may wish to release their hands onto their heels. Shoulders are back, chest open, heart lifted. Breathe. Relax your neck and your head. Bring your hands back to your hips. And let's come into a modified child's pose before we do Vashisthasana, modified on the other side. Knees are as wide as your mat. Take your heels back, your hips back towards your heels. Releasing your torso towards the floor. Maybe your forehead on the mat, or elevated with forearms folded, one on top of the other. And breathe into your side and your back ribs. Inhale, come on up. Let's do the other side of the modified Vashisthasana. So now you are on your Probably your left knee, I'm guessing, but just do the other side, whatever it is, whatever it was. Okay, so hand can be flat on the floor or tented, whatever feels best for your wrist. And then lift your back leg off the floor and then reach your arm up. So lifting that leg perhaps up as high as your hip, and then reach the top arm over, stretching. Keep breathing, lengthen the leg. Exhale, lower everything down. Curl your toes under. Sit back on your heels for a moment. And smile, because it improves your face value. But you may want to grit your teeth. I know what this feels like. But trust me, this is so awesome for your toes and awesome for your arch. Your arch doesn't get a lot of stretch, especially with a lot of the footwear today that we wear. Okay, roll back onto the soles of your feet. Let your head hang. And take hold of your elbows. If it doesn't feel good to take hold of your elbows and let your upper body hang, just place your hands on the fronts of your thighs and just kind of hang in the half standing position. But if you're okay, take your feet a little bit wider apart with your hands holding your elbows. Just do a little rocking slowly from side to side. Lower back gets so tight and gnarly from gravity, from poor posture, from sitting too long. Relax your neck, let your head hang, and then release your fingers towards the floor. Walk your feet towards one another if they were far apart. Let your head hang, let your arms hang, slowly roll up. One vertebra at a time, letting your head be the last thing to come up. And then roll your shoulders up to your ears. Exhale, roll them back. Pull your armpits down. Let your chin float horizontal, parallel to the floor. Crown of head reaching up. Lift your toes off the mat. Feel your big toe mount, your baby toe mount. Center front of your heel, or if it sounds better, the inside of your heel, the outside of your heel. Basically, I like the idea of the pyramid, but we want to be really connected and grounded through the soles of our feet, and then lay your toes down. Your thighs are probably engaged right now. Your kneecaps are lifting up. Sternum is lifted away from your pelvic floor, so feel and create some space here. So you're lifted, and then inhale, sweep the arms up, interlock the fingers, bring your feet a little closer together, but not exactly together. Release your pointer fingertips, inhale, stretching up, exhale, over to the right side. Now, don't crunch the side of your body that you're bending towards. Lengthen, think about lengthening your upper side. Inhale, up, exhale, other side. Inhaling up. Now, just let your head fall back. Bring your arms beside your ears. Inhale, stretching right up again. Release your hands. Forward fold, let your heads hang. Keep a soft knee and bend in your knees. Bring your hands to the fronts of your shins. Lengthen your spine. Reaching from the tailbone right through the crown. Exhale, forward fold. Bend your knees. Sit back as if you were sitting in a chair. And then inhale, sweeping up into Utkatasana. Have a look that your knees are behind your toes. So your toes should be in front of your knees, reaching up. Exhale, forward fold, let your heads hang. Bend your knees, inhale, sweep the arms out to the side, reaching up, hands in prayer. Exhale, hands to heart. Half sun salutations. Heard from some of you last week that class was too hard. Better than too easy, right? Okay, is it getting too hot in here? Or are we good? As soon as somebody takes off their pants, I'll turn the heat down. Oh, Philip's. Okay, so half sun salutations. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, bend your knees and swan dive onto your thighs, fingertips tented on the floor. On an inhale, lift your hips, straighten your legs as much as you can. Exhale, bend your knees, drop your hips. You're in a tuck position. Inhale, sweep the arms out to the side, reaching up. Exhale, turn the palms out and float your arms down. Inhale, sweeping up. Turn the palms out. Exhale, swan dive onto your thighs, fingertips tented. Inhale, lift your hips, let your head hang. Exhale, bend your knees, drop your hips. Press your shoulders back, lengthen your spine. Inhale, sweep the arms out to the side, reaching up. Exhale, float your arms down, taking up lots of space. Inhale, turn the palms out. Exhale, bend your knees a lot, drop your hips if you can. Fingertips tented on the floor. On an inhale, keep your abdomen glued to your thighs. Let your head hang. Truly relax your neck. Exhale, bend your knees and drop your hips. Inhale, sweep the arms out to the side, reaching up. Exhale, float your arms down to your side. Coordinate this with your breath. Inhale. Exhale, bend your knees a lot. Have a look that your knees are actually tracking over your toes. So if your toes are inwards or outwards, have your feet parallel. On an inhale, lift your hips, let the crown of your head hang down. Your feet should be about 1.5 fists width apart. Exhale, drop your hips, torso on thighs, lengthen your spine, shoulders back. Inhale, sweep the arms out to the side, reaching up. Turn the palms out. Exhale, float your arms down. Last time. Inhale, feel your big toe mount, your baby toe mount, and your heels grounded. Exhale, swan dive onto your thighs, fingers tented. Inhale, let your head hang. Exhale, bend your knees, drop your hips, shoulders back, long spine. Inhale, sweep the arms out to the side, reaching up. Exhale, float the arms down, taking up lots of space. Okay, if you have a couple of blocks, and if you don't, you can, if there's some more left, I think there are. You're going to put them on either side of your front of your mat. I'm going to work without one right now, but are there more blocks left, or are we out of them? There's just 2 more. Okay. So put them at the front of your mats, and then you may need your knee pads because you're going to come down onto your knee, and you're going to use your blocks in a low lunge, okay? So for those of you, you can put them on the highest position. So visually, you can imagine I'm holding the blocks here, all right? So you're coming down onto your knees. Your hands are on the blocks in whatever height that you feel you want, and if you don't have blocks or don't want to use them, you can put your fingertips on the floor. But I'm using imaginary blocks here, all right? So you're supported in a low lunge. So your feet should be wide apart so you can actually be in a lunge. You're not in a downward facing dog. Now, bring that knee back down to the floor. You can still hold on to your blocks and you're going to go backwards. Backwards. And then come forward again, hands on your blocks or on the mat. So send that, your back leg should be nice and straight, nice and long. Release the knee to the floor. Flatten the top of the foot that's behind and then come all the way back as far as you can. You might be coming all the way back, depends on your knees, your legs. Flex the foot of the front leg. Inhale, come back up. Placing your hands once again on your blocks, and then pick up your blocks. You can place them at the front for a moment. So you're sideways on your mat. You're picking up your blocks. They're in front, or you can place your fingertips on the floor. Take your arms out to the side, leave your blocks on the mat, and then reach over your right hand to your left foot. And again, you may need your block here because maybe your foot is too far away. You got longer legs and shorter arms, and then reach the other arm up and keep your back nice and long, flat. Exhale, back to the center. And again, you're going to take now the other hand over towards the other foot. Maybe it's on the block. And inhale. And reach the other arm up. Come back to the center. Make sure you have both blocks. And let's turn around onto the backs of our mats now. You know what you're doing. You've got your blocks, or maybe you're just tenting your fingers on the mat. I'll have my pretend blocks. I'm holding on to them. I'm in a low lunge. And let's pick the blocks up if we can and lift them forward. Lift the blocks forward and bring them back down to the floor. And then drop your back knee down and bring your hips backwards, stretching out your front leg. Inhale, coming back, lift that back knee off the floor so the back leg is straight. Your hands are on the blocks. And exhale, drop the knee onto the floor, flatten the top of your back foot, and then take your hips back as far as you can. Inhaling, come back up. And then let's come back into the center again because I want you to be able to turn around and see what we're going to do. Walk your feet in towards one another. And slowly roll up. So we're going to do our proper pigeon pose as opposed to the one on our backs. So you're going to want your blocks now once again, you can bring them towards where your hips would be. So come on down onto your knees and take your right foot forward. And then walk that right foot over towards the left. And I'm going to pretend this is my block. Or you can use your meditation cushion, whatever you have, whatever cushion you have or block. And then you're going to lower the knee down to the floor. And you might wish to put a support underneath that right hip. And just hold yourself up here in Ekapada Raja Kapotasana. So put the block underneath the hip. So I'm going to turn forward here if there's any confusion. So the knee is to the right and the foot is to the left. Have a look. And then perhaps supporting. And then lifting your hearts like a proud pigeon. They have to be the proudest bird going. Because they're barrel-chested. They walk around. Looking for a cigarette butt? God bless them. Okay, and then if you can, walk your hands forward, and you might just come down onto your forearms. So again, if you can keep the block or the cushion underneath that right hip, or if you feel it's impeding your progress, then remove it. Now, most of us probably won't want to come too much farther than this, but what you can do is stack your fists and lower your head onto your fist. That will intensify the stretch. So breathing into that right hip. It's a powerful hip opener. And then inhale, pressing up. And I'm just going to kind of turn myself sideways again. Okay, place your hands on the floor. Spread your fingers apart. Middle finger points forward. Wrinkles in the wrist facing the top of your mat. Curl your back toes under and lift your hips up. And let's walk the dog. So one knee is bent. One is straight. Take your time. If you do this quickly, it's more of an aerobic exercise, but the idea is for us to strengthen and improve the mobility and flexibility of our joints. Relax your neck. Okay, let's lift the left leg up. Look at your left hand. Bring that knee as far forward as you can. Or if that wasn't the leg, if you worked on that leg last time, you got to work on the other one. So again, you can support underneath your hip and hold your upper body up for a moment. Nice back bend is great for your kidneys and your adrenals, which are in your lower middle back. Breathing, and then walk your hands forward. And again, you can come down onto your forearms. And if you wish, stacking your fists to rest your forehead. Breathing into your left hip. Inhale, pressing up. And then curl the back toes under, lift the other leg up. And once again, walking the dog. Relax your neck. Slowly stretching one leg, bending the other. Feel the stretch, feel what you're doing. Changing, pressing the heel towards the floor. Stretching the Achilles tendon, the calf, the back of the knee. Let's change one more time on each side. And last time. And then release the knees to the floor. Pressing the weight into the hands. Slowly lower into a modified chaturanga all the way to the floor. Draw your fingertips up to the edges of your shoulders and bring your elbows in towards your side body and press your forearms down towards the floor. On an inhale, roll an invisible alley with your nose. Exhaling, pressing up. Inhaling to hold whatever height of Bhujangasana. We've made the sun come out. How about that? Lifting. So you may be using your hands, you might not. Both of them are fantastic. And then pressing up all the way. Let's do one more child's pose. You can do this with your knees together, or you can take your knees apart, whatever you prefer. If you ate a big breakfast, then I recommend you take your knees apart. And you send your hips back towards your heels. Releasing. Again, you can make a pillow for your forehead. Inhaling, curl the toes under, roll back onto the soles of the feet, let your head hang, keep your knees bent, slowly rolling up one vertebra at a time. Let your head be the last thing to come up. Take a sip of water if you need to. And for your last performance, tree pose. Because we're loving our trees. They're naked, they're interesting, no two are the same, just like us. And yet, we're more the same than we're different. Okay, so starting by balancing on your right foot, you're gonna take your time. You're gonna turn that left knee out to the side. You may keep that foot right there, go no further. You might bring it to your calf muscle. Where I don't want it is on your knee. Then, if you can, you're going to bring the sole of your foot inside the thigh, above the knee, and be your own unique tree. Focusing your gaze. And releasing. I'd really like to suss out some good socks that I can wear doing yoga. I know some of you have them on that grip, because that's why my feet won't grip these pants. Okay, let's try the other side. Just shake everything out, take your time, wait for your own inner cue for balancing, please. So you can be here with your foot, you're on your toes, your right knee is out to the side. You can bring it just to your calf, or attempt to lift it up. Some days balances are just not in your star realm. Other days, just never know. And release, give your legs a good shake out. Take your legs wide apart, sideways on your mat. Turn your feet slightly out. Be your 5-pointed star. Inhaling in place, exhale just halfway over. Tent your fingers just below your face on the floor. Inhaling in place, exhale over to the left, bringing your bum as close to your heels as you can. Inhaling up and over to the other side. Inhaling up into the center. Hands are tented just below your face. You're going to inhale, sweep the left arm up, reaching up, stretching up, maybe looking up. Exhale, float it down. Inhale, sweep the other arm up, reaching up and stretching up. Exhale, float it down. We're going to come down onto the mat. Before we hit Shavasana, what I'd like to ask you to do is and you're going to need to look that you're not going to knock your water bottle over, but I want you to think about your body in the shape of an X. So your heels will be on the outside of your mat, and your arms are stretched up, reaching up. Okay, so we're in our X position. We're really like stretching in every direction. Next, identify your right leg and stretch just your right leg. Stretch just your right leg. Point the foot, stretch it, lengthen it, relax it. Identify your left arm. So the arm on the opposite side, you're going to reach and stretch, pointing, reaching through your fingers. And release. Left leg. Stretch it, point the toes, reach it, lengthen it, relax it. Right arm, reaching, stretching, and relax it. Now, we're going to do the right leg and the left arm. We're going to stretch those two simultaneously. So, stretching your right leg, pointing the toes, stretching your left arm, reach and stretch. Exhale, let it go. Other leg and other arm. Inhale, stretching. Exhale, relaxing. Bring your legs back together. Arms are over behind your head. Like a big yawn, you're going to stretch everything out. Arms and legs reaching, stretching. Let it all go. Draw your arms down beside your bodies. Lift your shoulder blades off the floor and tuck them under your heart center. Lift your legs up and drop them uncontrollably a few times. Hips and bum, lift them up and drop it. Arms and shoulders. And gently roll your head to one side, then to the other side, and come back into the center. If you can locate your iPad, place it over your eyes. Eyes are closed. Separate the biting surfaces of the teeth. Relax the jaw. Palms are facing up in the open and receiving position. And let your bodies be soft and heavy. Allowing the benefits of all that you have just done to be integrated and absorbed in both your body and your mind. Yoga is a workout, but it's also a work in. When we focus, practice mindfully and compassionately, we become more familiar with exactly how our bodies are doing, with no judgment, just pure caring awareness. I often say that progress has been man's ability to complicate simplicity. Learning to simplify and remembering the mind likes stillness. When the mind is calm, the body can feel rest, peace, and unity. Finding contentment doesn't mean that we stop trying to make the world a better place, or that we stop dreaming, growing, expanding, and or changing. It means we remain responsible. And I like the definition, the ability to respond. Respond able, responsible. Praise and blame, gain and loss, pleasure and sorrow come and go like the wind. To be happy, rest like a giant tree in the midst of them all, said Buddha. Inhaling the life force long, full, and deep. And deep exhaling. Deep inhaling. And deep exhaling. One more time. Filling your lungs, belly rising, chest expanding. And if you feel, you can make a sound, exhale, ah. I'll tell you, sighing is worth a lot in terms of letting stuff go. Forget about let it snow, let it go, and maybe let it snow. One more time, inhale, stretch the arms over behind your heads, reach and stretch, point feet far, flex and point, and drop your arms down by your side. Take a moment to bend your knees and perhaps use your bottom arm as a pillow to roll over onto your sides. Thanking and acknowledging yourself for coming to a yoga class. And then pushing yourself up with your top hand. And if you wish, join me in chanting Om just one time. Actually, you know what? Here's what I'd really like to do. Let's do it 3 times, and you're going to do it, and you're going to run them all in together. So we're all going to Om. When you run out of your breath for the first Om, take another breath and Om, but we all just do it 3 times, okay? Inhaling together. Om Shanti, peace in your minds, peace in your hearts, peace in this world. Namaste.